Good evening. Good evening, good evening, good evening. This is the M of the M&H. Hello. Joining you on Periscope to talk hair loss. As you may or may not know, our speciality is African hair, and especially our specialism is small locks, which I'm wearing, sister locks. But this topic, I want for it to cover not just locks, i.e. traditional locks, sister locks, but I also want it to cover just African hair in general. The reason being is I feel like we shouldn't exist in isolation. That's why I started Bespoke Hairstyles in the first place. I felt like there was traditional locks over there, and then there was sister locks over there. And I felt like there needs to be a space where we just talk locks. So that's why Bespoke Hairstyles exists, because we look after traditional locks clients as well as sister locks. But obviously our specialism is the sister locks, the small locks. But as well as that, I recognize before we start locking, we have our loose natural hair, which we need to manage. So that's why I thought, let's have a conversation, a total conversation about hair loss in general. I need this to be quite an interactive session, because I know that we're not the experts. We've observed certain things, and I'm going to share with you our observation. But I know for a fact that I couldn't cover everything in this session. So if you had something to add, it'll be great if you just jumped in and said what you needed to say. And obviously, as long as it's appropriate, then I will read it out. If it's inappropriate, unoffensive, I'll block you. So, and that's it. So, hair loss. Okay. I've had hair loss. I've suffered hair loss from the perms, the perming sessions. I found out that my stylist had been mixing the perms. When the perm is almost finished, you'd pour a different perm mixture into the other bowl, and she was using it on my hair, and as a result my hair never really grew. It just kept breaking after a week or 2 weeks of perm just didn't work for me. I think what didn't work for me was my choice of stylist, but at 16 I was totally into the extensions, so I would just do any extensions. I'd be putting goals, plaits, so I ended up having hair loss on my edges, like patches. They'd grow back, and obviously I didn't have the sense to not actually add extensions to the area that has recovered. And then natural hair, I chose to go natural, and again I was over styling, over pulling my hair, and as a result my length never came through, and I hadn't discovered water, how much our hair lost water. Back then I used to avoid the water. Then I was thinking about locking. Well, I never thought about locking, actually. It wasn't even an option. I used to look at locks and think, well, that's an option for natural people with natural hair, but it's not mine, because I just felt that the locks were too big. And also in the UK, where I was, I tended to see people with very long traditional locks, but there was spaces between each lock. There was evidence of hair loss, and I didn't even know the word for it, that it was hair loss, but I just knew it didn't look right for me. And then I discovered sister locks, and I just fell in love with sister locks. The reason why I fell in love with sister locks, because I saw for the first time people who looked like me in one space at an event. That's why I love events. And they had voluminous hair, and they had, thank you so much for the love. They had such voluminous hair and long hair, luxurious looking hair, literally black version of Charlie's Angels. And I just lost my mind, and I just fell in love with sister locks. And then all my research, which is very US based, and I'm in the UK, was very much sister locks will grow your hair. Sister locks will grow your hair. You can wear wigs over it, you can do whatever to it, and it will grow your hair. And that's it. It was the answer. And then I locked my hair. Okay, I've shared this with other clients, but when my hair was locked, every time I went for a retie, my hair was on the floor. I always had one or two. Hey, Chocolate Styles, thanks for joining. I always had, after every session of my Sisterlocks, I'm giving a bit about my hair history. Hi. Yeah, so in the UK, I did my research for my consultant. I found a consultant. I thought I did all the right things, but I realized it's very US based. So, but it was fine. I mean, I was in love with Sisterlocks, so that was it. I was still getting it done. 3 years of retightening my hair, and 3 years, I don't tell a lie, 3 years, every 6 weeks, I would have a retight and my locks were on the floor. But I thought it was normal. I would call it normal shedding. I'd look on the floor. What used to happen is every retight, I'd get up and go, oh, today it's only 2. Oh, all right, that's 4 today I lost. Oh, 3. She didn't even bother clearing it out. It was there on the floor, evidence that my hair had been broken off. And my sister was telling me that I don't think that's normal. But I'd be like, yeah, it's normal, because, you know, every time when you comb your hair, you lose strands. That was hair loss I was experiencing. And I promise you, I did not know. This was a calling for me. Doing the African hair work is definitely a calling for me. Because when I came into the African hair market, I just thought, well, I love doing hair, so I can just play around with natural hair and people be happy and I can do the Sisterlocks. But what I found out when I sat with people and I observed their hair loss and I would tell them, leave your hair out, I recognized the fact that this is a deep, deep problem in our community. I was seeing too many women with African hair, and even men with African hair who did not know they were suffering from hair loss. And women especially, when you tell them, just leave your hair out or leave your hair alone, they would cry or they would be devastated. You could see them holding and consoling themselves. The trauma of walking out into the office with their African hair. And me and realized this is a real epidemic because it's a lack of consciousness. It's a lack of awareness. When you cry, because I tell you, go out with your face without no makeup and you cry, this is a problem. And I began to realize that was my calling. Our calling isn't just simply to just do the hair, but it's to educate and share and enlighten. And the problem with this situation is, we're all social beings. We must do this together. I know that I'm here and we've got followers, but that's what I want is, when I'm on this platform, I want the experts to be listening and watching and contributing. Because Chocolate Styles, you might know something I don't know. And you're in a different area from me. I'm in the UK. You might have something you'd share and I echo it out and it would reach one person and it would save their hair. It is devastating. It is devastating when you see somebody who looks like you, and they cry or they hold themselves because they don't feel they would be respected in the boardroom, they would be attractive out and about. But the problem is, that's why I need to do this. Like, it's tiring. Like, I don't need to come online and do this. I could have easily, I mean, we're busy enough. But I need help because I've got a little girl who's like 8 years old, who absolutely loves African hair. And I want that moment where she's feeling a bit weak and she's thinking, well, I need to do something other than work with my natural hair, and it might cause a hair loss. I need her to know, right, that's gonna be a problem because my daughter has very thin strands and I'm prone to hair loss. My mum has hair loss, my aunts have hair loss. So basically, I don't want that to happen to my daughter, but how can I educate her? I'm her mum. She can see all the aunties and uncles coming in with luxurious hair, nice hair, but out and about, they're not her aunties and uncles, but they're people who look like her. And if they're wearing their hair out, she's like, this is my normal. This is my normal. Now, my daughter can recognize when somebody's hair is straight and it's not their natural curls and weave. But I know there's going to come to that point where she's like, I want to straighten my hair. And I want to be able to tell her, right, okay, that's your choice, but educate her. And also, my priority is encouraging my daughter to enjoy her natural texture hair. The reason being, if I was encouraged, I would have just gone in and done it, because once I discovered it, it was just the most natural thing for me to have my hair out. Because I had my hair, I think, permed for like 6 years and I was playing around with my hair too much. So this space is so that I can help somebody thinking, okay, I want my natural hair out. What are my options? And I need you to know that even though you're going natural or you're in locks, it doesn't mean you're not going to have hair loss. Hair loss can be caused at any point if you're not managing the situation on your hair. So don't think because I've got stuff, you might have better hair care service with perm. because you went then to a natural hairstylist who's now impatient and is dealing with your hair and is pulling your hair and is blow drying your hair because they don't want to deal with your hair, and that can lead to hair loss. So you need to be aware of who is handling your hair. And that's why I come across a lot of people who, thanks for agreeing with Chocolate Styles, I come across a lot of people who said, well, I never had any problems with perm. And that's why people end up going back to perm, because they've had a terrible time trying to find a natural hair consultant who can deal with their hair type. Because if you're going to go straight into the heat to deal with the natural hair, it's not everyone's hair that can take that heat. My hair can't, and it will break off, and neither can my daughter. So I need to share with you options, healthy options, that your hair can grow and it can be healthy. One of those healthy options is sister locks. That's what we specialize in. But I have seen hair loss in sister locks. I had hair loss in sister locks. Egetta's has had hair loss in sister locks. Sister locks can most definitely create hair loss, I promise you, and major hair loss, like the extensions, because it's parting in each section. So if that person is on your hair pulling each section too tight, that's hair loss. And that's what happened to me. Now, hair loss shows in different ways. Some people's hair loss, my hair loss was, it would fall from the scalp and bald. Literally, I'll have a bald patch, then the hair would grow back, and then the consultant would lock it again. Or she would just join it. And then there's the hair loss, which happened for me. My locks weren't all one size from base to tip. My hair was thin, and then it would break off. So there's that type of hair loss. So there's hair loss where your strands are weak and they just break off because they can't take the weight, they can't take the pulling, they're exhausted and they're tired. And then the hair loss that falls from the base. And then there's that long-term hair loss, which is unfortunate, which is what Eget has suffered from. Eget's hair loss my hair's recovered, hers is still in recovery after 4 years of leaving that consultant. But I realized once we uncovered her hair and removed what she was using to hide it, the hair grows back. So there are solutions, but the solutions are different for everybody else, and the signs can be different for everybody else. And it takes quite a lot of hair to be lost for you to recognize you have hair loss. So the idea is observe. If you see there's too much space from one end to the other section and the partings are getting wider, that is hair loss. If you're finding your hair is growing, breaking, that is hair loss. Unfortunately, sometimes it's gone too far. And that's where people are ended up wearing the wigs or the wigs. Because what you don't realize is when you see somebody with a spot-on weave or a spot-on wig, you don't even know what's going on underneath. But the problem is, it's major in our community. This is a serious problem. There's too many of us, black women, who are going through hair loss and are hiding it. Husbands don't know, mums don't know, sisters don't know. And it's serious. But the problem is if it's gone too far, then you end up wearing the wig. And what I'm trying to do is, some people it's too late, but what I'm trying to do is catch those people where it's not too late, where you've begun to see it's receding, it's going back, you've noticed space, the back is a bit broken, your hair looks a bit haphazard, and you're thinking, well, I just need to wig it. Please, the wig doesn't work. The wig doesn't work. I've been doing this 4 years, and I promise you, the reason why I'm not even sitting on no fence. So far, with my experience, I have not seen the benefits of our African hair being continually covered over 8 hours. Like, oh, I just cover my hair when I go to work. It doesn't work. When you wear wigs and you're trying to get your hair progressing into, like, I'm talking about sister locks especially, because people don't like that beginning. What we found is, we even know when our clients are covering their hair too much. They don't need to tell us. But if they're wearing a hat, like one of our clients covers his hair because he's a builder, and he covers it, proper protects it. And the way he covers it, I can tell it's like how you would use a wig, and his hair was getting long but too thin. Because when it's out in the elements, it thickens up. But if you don't leave it uncovered, it won't. So far, I've come across a couple of clients, and now we don't take clients on who say, oh, well, I'll wig it until it fattens up. We just don't, because it doesn't grow the hair. It doesn't really give the hair that healthy density. Neither does the weave. And the problem is, the reason why I have to be like clear on this is because we're the ones who, when people decide they want to go natural now and they want to enjoy their natural hair, we are the ones who have to style and create the fullness that now they're dreaming of. Because now they have hair loss, Now they're thinking, right, I'm going to be natural. My hair's just going to automatically grow. It is not. And you cannot still copy that person's style, because that's one of the major reasons why we're having hair loss. You go to someone and you say, I want that style. Or I'm getting people sending me locks pictures. Yes, it does. It causes friction, which causes breakage. The rubbing of the wig cap where it lies, chocolate styles, thank you. All of that causes the hair loss. And I'm trying to explain to people have tried to get me in this corner, mate, to say, accept the weaves and accept the wigs. No, I will not. Let me tell you why, because I am the one who has to stand over your head. When you've now decided to go natural, I'm the one who has to stand over your head and try and create a style that gives you the fullness, because you're under the illusion that now you've got natural, I can create that fullness. I can't. It's even worse because I'm just working with your strands. So if all your strands aren't there, I can't give you fullness, mate. Neither can the sister locks. It can't give you automatic fullness. Because it's your hair and what your hair is doing. And because I know at the end of the day, when you decide to bin that wig and bin that weave, I'm the one who has to stand over your hair and try and style your hair to the maximum, give you density. I will tell you every time, bin the weave, bin the wig. I don't care how politically incorrect that is. It doesn't bother me, because there's no political correctness when I'm sitting here or standing over your hair trying to do something creative so you're confident enough to go to work. You teach about moisture. It's like a plant, yes, chocolate style. I say that all the time. And I'm grateful for being able to have plants in my house. And I see it's not easy, because the environment, it's really hard. Listen, I'm growing indoor plants in my house. I water some plants the same way I water another plant. That other plant dies. I need to observe the environment that plant is and know, okay, it needs a little less water, a little bit more water. That's the thing. You need to observe. We can't teach this. That's why all the YouTube videos people are watching, we can't teach this. We can teach you about moisture. We can tell you about moisture. But you need to decide how much moisture works with your hair. You want to grow out your hair when you've got it in a protective style, or when it's in its lock, even when it's in its lock stage, when you put moisture, it's going to grow your hair. Sometimes you have to work from the inside out. Mate, all the time. That's why I go to the gym. That's why I exercise. That's why I eat healthy. That's why I try and eat my fruit and veg. That's why I try and eat my nuts. That's why even the oils that I consume, and I'm a massive fan of sesame seed oil and coconut oil, I watch what I put into my body, because I realize our hair tells a story, especially with locks. Your whole story comes through in your locks. It is amazing. I am grateful that I've cut out all the wrong energy that was on my hair. I've cut it out. That's why I cut my hair a couple of years ago. I cut it short. And now this story is a get on my head. From the base to the tip, all one line. With my grays coming through, it tells a story. It tells you when I started graying, how long it's been. You look at the back of my hair, you see my grays coming through. It's my story. And I'm refusing to hide it. Because it's a waste of flipping time. It's a waste of time trying to hide your story. Why? When I've got a calling and I'm answering my calling and I'm doing what I love, why waste my time trying to cover what I'm blessed with? And that's what I'm trying to tell people. You are so blessed. My blessing are my grays. My blessing are my strand types. My blessing are my curl patterns. I'm enjoying all of them. Each of us, as different as we are, have our different DNAs and a different structure of hairs and our different wants and our different needs, and our strands tell a story. And when we cover it, we're not doing the best for us. Now, it's absolutely fine if you're covering your hair a couple of hours, you have to go on stage and you need to cover your hair. But if you do it for 8 hours in the day, every day, because you're hiding behind it, that's a different story. So that's what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get to you before it leads to something else. Don't think that because you have sister locks, thank you. I think it's sent one. Welcome. But I want to try and get to you before you are devastated, before you're in the position where you're only having one style to style your hair because you're trying to cover up your hair loss. This is not about being politically correct. This is about being completely honest with you, because I'm the one who has to sweat. Me, when somebody, chocolate styles, you can vouch for this. When somebody comes with their hair loss, my heart goes boom, and I pray and I say, God, there's a reason why you brought this person here to me. Yeah, you have to be comfortable in your own skin. There's a reason. And I say, thy will be done. I pray. I say, thy will be done, because this person is meant, and I do my best. But it's hard. And that's why we don't advertise those hairstyles that we create for people with hair loss, because it takes all your energy, because you're also absorbing their stories and where they've got to for them to sit into your chair. You're absorbing all of that. I can't absorb everybody's. So that's what I'm saying. If you can, before it goes bad, if you've seen this video, you circulate it to your friends. You might have a friend who you can see that they're having and they don't know, because the answer is not if you're becoming, oh, thank you, Chocolate Styles. But I am Chocolate Styles. That's my calling is this. Through when I touch people's hair, I'm able to counsel them. And I see the change. I see the change in them. I see their back straighten up. I see their confidence. And I love sending people away and they don't have to come back. I love that bit where they don't have to come back and they send me pictures of their hair and I'm like, wonderful. Because I'm giving back, but you're also giving me back, because one day my daughter's going to be sitting across from you. My niece is going to be sitting across from you. My family's going to be sitting across from you. My loved ones are going to be sitting across from you. Yeah, we all need to do that collectively. And they are going to see that auntie, that uncle, that person who looks like their mother, that person who looks like their family member. And they're going to be like, yeah, I can do this. I can actually be out. It's normal. It needs to be more normal, because the problem is a lot of us are having hair loss as a result of trying to get hair looking like somebody else. You get your sister looks and you want to copy somebody's sister looks. It ain't going to work, mate. It's not, because it's their hair texture. Don't try and force the hair to be neat. It's not, mate, because your hair texture is bushy and not neat. And that's the problem with sister locks. Celebrating the grid. The grid is a guideline for us. It's balance. Right? It's the technicality, the technical thing we do to find balance in the hair. It is not for fashion, you know. So that's what you need to understand. The grid is a guide. But if your hair doesn't show grid, but it's full and bushy, mate, you have landed. Now go out and answer your calling. Stop trying to copy somebody else's work. Stop trying. That's why when people tell me, oh, I saw you did this flat twist style. Can you do it for me? No, I can't do it for you, because the style comes through and I do my hair, your hair, and you go. You go and you live your life. If you put that pressure on me, I'm going to internalize it. I'm going to be sweating, trying to replicate the style I created for you before. None of my styles are the same. Even if I style you today, you come tomorrow. No, mate, I can't do it, because it's something that comes through me, and what you're meant to have on that day, come have on that day. I refuse to take on people's pressure. And that's the thing for stylists. Yeah. Tangela Walden, that's what we need to do. We need to collectively, but we need to collectively show you how, I guess, okay, we're trying to convince people to go natural, right? And I'm telling you why. And the intention is really important. The reason is because you end up in my chair, or you're going to end up in one of the people who I train, because we're going to go into training next. I'm going to be training people, and I don't want you to sit in the chair and let them sweat. Because let me tell you about sweating when you're on somebody's hair. It stifles your creativity. It stifles the actions and the blessings they're supposed to give you on that day on your hair. Because you're distracting them and they're looking at something else, trying to copy it. And because I'm grown, I'm able to manage that. But a young stylist on somebody's head could be very discouraged. They're like, oh, I tried to copy that style and I couldn't. No. Let me tell you something. One day, especially with African hair, it moves. One day, it could be a bit straighter. Another day, it could be curly. It could be curly. So, some days I can achieve that style. Some days I can't achieve that style. So that's why I say, I look at your hair and I'm present. And that's what you want. A consultant who can say no to you, who can consult you, manage you, and you can work together. Because sometimes I have to tell you, no, today your hair's not doing that. Sometimes I say to my clients when I'm retightening them, what's going on? The hair's trying to come out, you can interlock, and the hair's wriggling out that day. But another day, you do the hair and it's all neat. So that's why they always say I don't have the courage you have to wear my natural hair. I know. I hear that all the time, that people say, oh, your hair, it's different for you, or that kind of thing. But, okay, so this is what Tangela, right? I hope I've got your name right. Okay, this is what I do. I talk. I tell people, I don't preach. I tell people, blah, 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 blah. I tell them and I give them evidence. Intention is very important in this. Because if you've got the wrong energy and intention, you can be offended if somebody ignores you. So it's not about that. I don't care whether you receive it or not. My job is to give you the information. If you receive it, great. But if you're not ready to receive it, you're not grown enough, you're not ready. It's fine, we're all at different levels, but I've given you the information. One day, I'm here, you'll be back. That's why I try and be here at 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock between this time, so that one day, we'll be here when you're ready to catch the message. I recognize that we're all at different stages, so it's fine. They have to be open. Yeah, you have to be open to it, but it's not my place. I've learned this. It's not my place how you receive the information. My job is to tell you. And that's the time I'm telling you. I can't because this job is so stressful, dealing with African hair. There is no book. There is no school that teaches you how to deal with African hair. I'm serious, on a level. Because we learned about water on our own. Nobody taught us how to use water and the degree of spritzing and all of that. Every time I go on African hair, I have to learn what the African hair needs. Nobody can teach you that. If you're lazy, you ain't gonna last in this business. You are not. You have to, all it is passion. And there has to be a lot of us. Information always welcomed. Naturalist app. Thank you. There has to be enough of us to do this work. I can't do this in isolation. And that's why I want you to know, guys, you need to help me. You need to work with us. And you only learn how to change your texture growing too. Yeah. When you comment and you give me little information, I can read it out and I can absorb it. Because sometimes it's hard on my own. On our own, it's hard. And you might have an information for somebody that I've not had yet, that I can pass on. But we have to do it together as a community. Nobody is better, more special, not because of your degree of curly, not because of the tightness of your hair. We're all one. From the loosely mixed race texture type hair to the African tightly curled hair, we are one. We have to be, because we can't do this in isolation. So there has to be no separation between you having your loose natural hair, you even having your permed hair looking at this, you having your weave, because you might have a different story and it has to be open. You might have your big locks and you might be having a different experience from the sister locks. We all have different experiences. But to reduce hair loss, because this is why I'm doing it, to reduce hair loss, we have to share and be open and educated. So that's why I am never tired of telling people my opinion. I will tell you the wigs, the weaves, I've not seen any evidence that it grows hair. None. So I will tell you. I'll tell you. Now, if you choose not to receive it and you choose to receive it that I'm trying to give you an attitude or whatever, my friend, I am not, because I know I stand over your head. But if you don't want to receive it, it's cool. But the other thing is, I give myself a timeline, you know, because I used to meet people who used to stop me and say, I like your hair, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll tell them how much, and I'll tell them how long I've sat for, and they'll start be arguing with me. They'll be like, oh, I don't have time. I don't have time to sit there. I'll be like, wait, mate, you stopped me? Sorry, they'd say. I said, well, you stopped me. I didn't stop you. You saw my hair and started asking me questions about my hair. I gave you the information, and now you're having a debate with me. I just don't have the time, and I'd walk away. I'd walk away because I'm like, I don't need to justify my choice. I don't need to. I go about my business. But if you come to me and you ask, I will give you my opinion. And if I'm sitting there and you ask and you say, oh, I don't know, how should I deal with my grays? I'll tell you, just leave your grays. Because you're having hair loss. I can see your hairline. You have to choose. You grow a full head of hair with your grays, or you suffer hair loss as a result of covering your grays. You make a choice. It's a choice thing. So that's it. Guys, this must be enough information for you to share and help educate people. Remember this. This is the message. No one hairstyle can save your hair. Every hairstyle can help grow your hair. Sister locks is one of those. Being natural is one of those. Right? Having your hair traditional locks is one of those, depending on your hair. But each of those as a solution can create hair loss. If you've got the wrong, uneducated energy on your hair, if you've got the person with the wrong intentions on your hair, if they're ignorant, their hands, as much as that style is fantastic, can create hair loss. And that's why I say, investigate who is on your head. Investigate, even if they don't have information online. Investigate, mate. Google their name. They don't have any information. When you talk to them, investigate them. Investigate them. That's what I do. I leave my grays and I have sister locks. Well done, Center One. We're the same. And I'm guilty of having colored my hair. And I'm guilty of putting heat on my sister locks, but that didn't grow my hair. So yeah, that's the thing, is that I wanted you to know, like, basically, the energy, the intention is really important. That's why I always say, ask people, what made you, if you're talking to Chocolate Style, ask Chocolate Style, how did you come into this? Why did you choose to do this? Let Chocolate Style tell you a story. And from Chocolate Style's telling you a story, you'll be like, she is on it. She knows. Or you'll be like, no, no, no. And it's fine if you don't choose us. It's absolutely cool, because I always say there has to be synergy, because it's a back and forth. But if you don't feel that, don't go with that person. Keep on praying and keep on choosing, and the right person will come to you to look after your hair, and then you'll have growth. I thank the day Iget stopped me when we were in the school playground and she asked me about my sister locks, because I didn't know she was meant to look after my hair. Who would have told me that stranger who stopped me was going to be the one who was looking after me, who would have given me a full head of hair, luxurious, lovely growth? I didn't know at the time. So the energy can grow your hair. Somebody might not have that much knowledge about your hair, but the energy is right, and they will learn on your head. You learn together. That's fine. So that's what I say. Investigate, research, and be selective, because there's only a certain number of times. Yep, that's right. You know what, Chocolate Styles? That's very good, Tomorrow, I'm going to come online. Okay, Chocolate Styles just said about money. Okay, so Chocolate Styles, if I'm rambling on tomorrow about something else, remind me that we should talk about money and the energy about money, because it's really important to talk about that, because that's not the priority. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. That's great. Yeah, remind me. Come on, talk. Okay, so basically that's the message, is that you need... Okay, so I could meet a fantastic client. Thank you so much for the love. I could meet a really fantastic client. I thought they're fantastic. They sit in the chat, I think they're great. But if they're resisting me and we're talking and they keep talking at me and they resist me, they can't come back. They just can't come back, because it needs to be a two-way. I need to give you the information. You need to receive it. It needs to be... There has to be an energy flow. An energy flow, whether you believe it or not, it doesn't matter. It still exists. Once I tapped into it, we just did great. So I'm one of those people. The one person watching, the one person receiving the information, I am full. I am happy. I'd rather that than a million empties. So I just want to reach out to one person. That's why I'm always honest and I try to be authentic, because I know that I'm not meant to reach necessarily billions, but the one person, and they say, you changed me. I decided to, and they change for the right reason. I decided now to do sister locks or go natural. That's it. My job is done, because I am full and I'm totally happy with my choices in my life. I tell you, my life is great. Since I've just lived honestly, my life is great. So me, I'm not into political correctness. I will say what I say. If I see hair loss, I'll tell you you're having hair loss. And if you think I'm direct, you want to meet the H. The H doesn't even mess. She just tells you straight up, because she's French. She doesn't know how to do the British, diplomatic, politically correct thing. At least I can. She doesn't even tap into it. She'll just tell you. And because of that, we grow. We grow. So this is for anyone who cannot reach the Bespoke heart. We are so busy. We don't have time for consultation. It can be so hard because we're so busy on the head doing the work. So this platform acts as a consultation for you. You take the information you need and you apply it. You share it and somebody else can apply it. So I hope it helps. Just put it in your head that even this, though it looks great, can create hair loss. Any hairstyle can create hair loss if it's done incorrectly. And your hands can be allergic to your head. Because you can be your worst enemy. You can be like, yay, I'm celebrating DIY. Yay, I'm natural now, I'm saving money. Oh, yay, that's great. No, mate, if you're creating hair loss on your head, that's not the cleverest thing. Find somebody, pay them, and get your hair done properly. Because there are two problems with DIYs that I find. When you know how much pain your head can take, you can be tougher on your head trying to get the style in, because we're our worst critics. We're a bit of a perfectionist when we're dealing with ourselves. So you can be in there retightening and styling and really pulling, and because you know the pain is going to come, you brace yourself. So you say, oh yeah. It's not heavy, all those extensions I've put my head. Oh, it's not hard. Oh, it's not hard doing it. Oh, no, yeah, it's not pulling, but you've pulled on your head. When somebody else is pulling, it's a different sensation from when you're pulling on your head. So number one, you could be allergic to your hair. The other thing is, this DIY celebration that naturals are doing, I don't get it. Why are we celebrating living in isolation? What is that about? Like, I locked myself in for 8 hours. Yeah, I go on YouTube. Yeah, guess what? This is the style I did. You talk to no one. Because I know when I used to do my hair, I used to lock myself in my room 8 hours. My husband would bring the phone, or somebody wants to talk to you. I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to talk to them. Can't you see me doing my hair? I'm doing my hair. I used to be so, I was trying to complete the task, and in doing that, I was pulling on my hair, bracing myself. I need to finish this. I need to finish this. When I was retagging my hair, I was so angry. I'll finish it. I need to finish this. I used to have to call somebody to say, yeah, I finished it. Mate, we're doing something to our society as we're celebrating as African women, black women, our culture. I'm from Sierra Leone. Our customers, we sat on the bench and collectively we'll be chatting, laughing, doing hair. We felt good. It was a therapy. It was a woman's time. It was young girls. You know, I was little, so I'd sit there listening to the older women. It was how we learn through conversations. And all of a sudden now, we're supposed to celebrate living in isolation, doing our hair in isolation because we're natural and we're saving money. So why are you working all that money for? To just sit there and do your own hair? Mate, get out, research, and go and get your hair done by someone. Salons aren't the best for some people. Salons work for some people, but find another way for somebody else to be touching your hair, because when somebody's over your head and observing your head, they can say, wait, there's a bit of separation here. Wait, your hair's breaking off here. But you can't observe on top of your head. So you're doing nothing for you as somebody who's part of a community in isolation doing your hair. You're bracing, you know, from time to time you can do it, but don't be celebrating and don't be doing it for too long, because you can create hair loss on your own hair. So that's the thing. You can be allergic to your own head. If you just think of it that way, and from time to time, even if you're doing your own hair and you have no choice, you have to do your hair, get somebody to check it, get your sister, your cousin, find a friend or someone. Now, I know what I've been missing out on when I started Bespoke Hairstyles, how fantastic it is to sit in a room. Like when our clients come and like, let's say we're running behind schedule and there's 2 or 3 people in the room, the conversation we shut the door, we laugh, the conversations are hilarious. And I missed that for years because I was living in isolation, doing my hair, celebrating, saving money. But what you get, there's no money can measure what you get out of that lifting and emptying and that connection. All of that leads to the growth of our hair. When you keep things in, you're stressed, it turns to something else. All of that happens when you're in the right space and your hair's being done by the right person. All of that, you let go and you leave. And that's why if a bad energy comes into this room, they can't come again, because you leave your tears and your joys and your everything here and you go. And that's what it's about. So there's a lot of messages there. I think I'm going to watch this post and try and get the messages there, because it just came through me to share. But please, when you come into this space, it is about communicating with, when you have your thoughts or, yeah, it's very important to be, like, that's why my hashtag on Instagram is One Community Stronger Together, because we can't do this in isolation. And I love the interaction and I love the messages, and I can echo your words and you can echo my words. Chocolate Styles, any of you who do hair work, if you're not on Periscope yet and you're thinking about it, can you please get on it, please? So I can watch you guys too, because it's good for us to share each other's work. And it's good as well when you're doing your presentation. If I'm available, I can then comment and support you, because that's what we're supposed to do. So this is like a viral online support system for each other. Bring people in, you talk, I support and I share. I talk and I support and I share. So we reach the right people. Let us not do it in isolation, mate, because it's too hard. It's so hard because I think there must be like 1% of us are natural. You know, 1% of us are talking about these issues. So if all our 1% come together and we're all sharing, that's fantastic. So all my question and answer session is about interaction. You can even say, Mel, can you ask this question? Or we can start a topic. Let it be organic. Let it not be you just sit there and watch me. Because after you sit me and watch me for a while, me too, I'm just going to sit and just watch you guys like this. I'm like, something. Yeah? So let's do this together. And follow on Instagram. We're on the fan page as well. And I do a bit of YouTube. But I think I'm much more interactive on Not in Isolation. Yeah. But, yeah, together, we can inspire each other and support each other. So hope you found this, learned about this from Instagram. Oh, good. So, forgive me, because sometimes I'm reading, and then I read like I'm reading, and I'm just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And I'm reading, and you're like, what's she saying? I'm just reading. Yeah, So the message is, don't do it in isolation. Don't be afraid. Be fearless. Be straight. Stop sitting on the fence, mate. Stop sitting on the fence. When you're on the fence, nobody knows whether they're clear or unclear or whatever. Just say what you're thinking. So if you're contradicting yourself, you can have a conversation and you can be corrected. But don't just sit on the fence like, oh yeah, some people can wear weaves, some people can wigs, it's fine. Me, I say no, because I'm the one who has to style your hair. And if your hair's growing fine and your hair's permed and you're fine, I don't even think you'll be watching this posting, so it's not even about you. But if you're thinking about it, this is a space for people thinking about it and are beginning to be aware and conscious of the messages they're sending out. When every time somebody sees you, you feel your hair needs to be straightened, when really you just need to have a healthy, natural hairstyle. So that's it. Share, post. Thank you for watching this. This is the M of the M&H signing of Periscope. Have a good day. I'll be back tomorrow at 9. Take care. Thank you for the love and the support. Bye.